our musicians who have helped us in our worship experience. And as we're now trying to get situated with our I guess I might know there it is. I see the mouse click and 3, 2, 1. If you are able to stand with us, we're going to turn to a familiar passage of Scripture. One that we used on last week. We will look at 2 Chronicles 7:14. And if you need a title, Moving the Movement comes to mind. Moving the Movement. 2 Chronicles 7:14 reads this way. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. Moving the movement.
Yes, sir.
You may have your seat. It is clear to us that we are yet in a crisis.
Yes, sir.
We're in a crisis because mean-spirited white people have once again killed an unarmed black person.
Yes, sir.
And we know that it breaks the heart of family members.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To see that someone that is close to them,
Yes, sir.
someone that they have been raised or reared with, someone that raced to the Christmas tree on Christmas morning with, someone who sat at the dinner table for Thanksgiving with, someone who remembered your birthday and celebrated it, or someone whose birthday you remember. Now they're gone. And it's frustrating to see that their life was taken because of someone who has a badge or someone who has a gun and has become judge, jury, and executioner.
Yes, sir.
And so it is true that when things like this occur, the next thing that generally happens is a movement. Today, we know that the most widely held movement goes by the name of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yes, sir. All right.
And if you're going to have a movement that's going to affect change, you got to begin. Right? You got to start.
Yes, sir.
And the beginning for many of us is the petition, the petition. And hold on to that, because I'm going to come right back to the petition in a moment. But moving the movement suggests that we also find ourselves listening to different strategies.
Yes, sir. All right.
One would be boycott. When you begin, that's one thing. The next there are those that say boycott, which means you stop participating in something that it's been determined will send a message. Then there is another strategy of blackout, which is you stop purchasing.
Yes, sir.
You limit where you spend your money. You might move where you spend your money to more local establishments or maybe even black owned. That's one of the strategies. Then there's the bully, where you just go and steal stuff from people. And that's also a strategy, because if you start a fire over here, then the police and the fire department are over here trying to solve that. And then the bully will run over there, break into someone's store and steal, because they know that law enforcement can't be in two places at the same time. So these are strategies that happen whenever there is a movement of high magnitude. And then there are many of us who sit by frustrated because the movement didn't move.
Yes, sir.
It's a movement, but it ain't going nowhere. It's like a Cadillac sitting on 4 cinder blocks.
Yes, sir.
I don't care how much gas you got in the car. It ain't going anywhere because something is stopping the progress. So we wonder why we fail to get what we want. And failure happens really when you look at the models that we've already presented. Failure happens because of antagonism. When you antagonize people that are willing to help you, you might not get much movement. Failure happens because of alienation. When you decide that you don't need other folk to get your point across.
Yes, sir.
You can't move as many mountains as you can with a group of folk. Failure happens because of atheism. When God is not in the equation. When you take God out or don't insert God in, you will wonder why there's no movement on your idea. And so, if it's true that the movement moves,
Yes, sir.
it moves because there is a single voice.
All right.
There's a single voice crying out in the wilderness.
Yes, sir.
Now we know that the children of Israel, if you know their history, and if you're part of this church, you've heard this several times from Sunday. Yeah. That they were in bondage, in slavery in Egypt.
Yes, sir.
And they recognized that they needed some help.
Yes, sir.
That they had a movement that needed to move. Yes. And they cried out before the Lord. And God sent them a single voice. Mm-hmm. He sent them Moses. Am I right about it?
Yes, sir.
And not only was that singular voice important, because that voice goes to Pharaoh and makes statements on behalf of the people.
Yes, sir.
That idea is coming right back. I just want to kind of set the stage. Y'all need the backstory. And so the single voice also needs to be a spiritual voice. Right? Because the spiritual voice is one that's going to listen to God. That's the supernatural voice. You got a single voice and a spiritual voice and a supernatural voice. All of these play into making sure that the movement moves. And we don't have to really belabor the point. We know that the children of Israel were in bondage.
Yes, sir.
And because they had these three factors working on their behalf, they had a movement that moved. They were free.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all with me? So they, because of their situation, the Israelites found themselves, because of their successes,
Yes, sir.
and because of the success of Joseph, they were in bondage. And so that idea of petition comes back.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you're in a situation that needs to change, you need to strongly petition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Strongly petition.
All right.
And when you strongly petition, you need to petition leadership.
All right.
And so what we have seen is marches and rallies where people strongly petition leadership.
Yes, sir.
Those that make laws, those that get things done, those who are voted into office are people that we look to help get us what we want. And we're not asking for anything that is out of the ordinary. I mean, our Constitution pretty much lays it out for us.
Yes, sir.
That we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit
Yes, sir.
of happiness.
Yes, sir.
And that these truths will be held self-evident, that all men are created equal. And we shall be judged according to our works and according to the things that we do rather than the things on our skin.
All right.
So you have to strongly petition leadership. And leadership will have to, at some point, listen. But if you just petition leadership, you will find that your movement might move a little bit. But if you want to really see some movement, you've got to start to pray. Yes, strongly petition is one thing, but starting to pray is another thing. And when you pray, you got to pray to the right one. Hallelujah. We pray to the Lord. Amen. Pray to the God of salvation. Pray to the God of creation. Pray to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Pray to the one who can do something about your situation. That's why years later Solomon writes this familiar passage. Because if you want your movement to move and you're known by me and I am known by you will humble yourselves.
Yes, sir.
And you'll pray.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that I learned about prayer, we say it all the time, no prayer, no power. Little prayer, little power. Much prayer, much power. And part of why each time we find ourselves in the same predicament that we were in the last time somebody black was killed is because we have done it atheistically, meaning done it without God.
Yes, sir.
And you can't make nothing change without God. God is the only one who can touch the heart of somebody who's in office to make them listen, to make them want to listen. So you have to start to pray to the Lord. So Solomon, many years removed, writes to the people who had been freed and in the promised land.
Yes, sir.
They're in their largest capacity of Israel. They had stretched to the widest boundaries under David and Solomon's reign. And just remember, they were slaves. And they couldn't see their way clear because they had to petition leadership, which is what Moses did, and pray to God, which is what the people and Moses did.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all with me? I'm trying to help somebody because there are folk in cyberspace that say we don't need the church. Yes, you do. You do need the church. You do need God to get things that while I see wrong happening, I'm just not going to say anything. That's wicked. When you say, I see what's wrong and I'm not going to do anything to help. I'm not going to insert myself to be part of the solution. I'm just going to watch everybody else do it. That's part of being wicked, because we have to decide for ourselves that we're going to stand up as well. What we find is there are people that will stand up for us because we refuse to stand up for ourselves. We'll complain about it. We won't do anything about it. And I'm not going to ask if anyone has been outside and standing with people, because that's not what this is all about. But if you want to see real change, there will be a single spiritual voice listening to a supernatural voice, and that single voice is going to carry a message. And right now, you get all these strategies because everybody's talking. If you look at your Facebook post, you'll see that everybody's giving you a certain day to do certain things, but there's no one group leading that charge. So how do you make sense out of it? And when I get around, the first thing I want to know is who sent this and where is it coming from? It's just no. We're gonna stop. We're not gonna spend no money on such and such a day. Okay, who set that up? You know, if you want to make an impact, like for instance, when black people were not allowed to sit anywhere they wanted on the bus, there was a bus boycott, and it came from a single voice that gave everyone how that was going to happen and how to play that out. Right? So when you send me a message or an email or a text or a post on Facebook saying, on this day, we're not going to do that, I need to know who's talking. And that movement ain't going to move if everybody talking and going in different directions. Y'all trying. But God says, if we do the right things,
yes, sir.
Right? Humble yourselves and pray. Seek my face. Turn from your wicked ways. Then he says, I'll do mine.
Yes, sir.
I will hear from heaven.
Yes.
Right? God's going to speak. That's that supernatural voice. God, and when God speaks, thunder and lightning happen.
Yes, sir.
When God speaks, the earth shakes. Yeah. When God speaks, movement moves.
Yes, sir.
And I will forgive their sin and heal their land.
Yes, sir.
So when you strongly petition and start to pray, you will see the power.
Yes, sir.
We serve a powerful God.
Yes, sir.
An all-powerful God.
Yes, sir.
And he reminds us in his word that there are so many things that he can do for us.
Yes, sir.
He that begun a good work in you
Right.
will perform.
Yes, sir. That's what he said.
It's in his word.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about the supernatural voice.
Yes, sir.
But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles.
Hallelujah.
They shall run and not be weary.
Yes, sir.
They shall walk and not faint.
Yes, sir.
Talking about a supernatural voice.
Come on, Pastor.
Y'all don't hear me.
Go ahead.
A voice that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I'm telling you that the word of God is true. Hallelujah. It's a supernatural voice. God says in his word, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It's in his word. Greater is he that's within me than he that's in the world. It's in his word. Yes, God's word is true. It cuts, hallelujah, both bone and marrow. Is sharper than any two-edged sword. I'm telling you, God's word is a word for me. For God knows if he says in his word that how thou wilt give him perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. In other words, we got to trust in the word of God. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. I'm telling you that the word of God stands. Created me a clean heart, and a right spirit within me. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against you. It's in the word of God. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my pathway. Hallelujah for the word of God. If the supernatural voice starts talking, we ought to be listening. For the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. We beheld his glory and esteemed him not. The word that was made flesh came through 42 generations. They called him Jesus. Jesus, Mary's baby. Yes, he lived and he worked. Yes, he did. He performed miracles and he did his work while he was yet on earth. He taught in the synagogues. That's work, y'all. He prayed to his Father. That's work. He healed the sick. That's work. He raised the dead. That's work. He delivered the demonized. That's work. And when he finished his work, they took him and they took him up a hill called Calvary, and they hung him high and stretched him wide, and they told him, if you are the Son of God, why don't you come down? But the songwriter said it best. It was not the nails that kept him on the cross, but it was love. Y'all know love, right? I was thinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore, very deeply stayed within, sinking to rise no more. But the master of the sea heard my despairing cry. From the waters lifted me, now faith am I. Lord lifted me, and nothing else will do. Lord lifted me. It was the nails that kept him on the cross. It was love. And yes, Jesus died. That supernatural voice was hushed on Calvary's cross. From the supernatural voice that was placed in a borrowed tomb. But early on the third day, that hushed voice began to speak again. He said, all power given unto me, in heaven above, and earth below. Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Hallelujah. Baptizing them in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I commanded you. And know I will be with you always, even to the end of the world. Thank you, Jesus. Glory to God. We gotta listen to the supernatural voice. Hallelujah. Who tells us the word of God. Hallelujah for the word of God. Hallelujah for the word of Glory to God. At this time, we're going to offer prayer. If you're here and you're thinking about the movement, the Black Lives Matter movement happens to be the first thing that we're dealing with right now. And it needs, if it's going to have any success,